Week in Review episode 240 starts now.
Seth freaking Rollins, and this is Bretto live on YouTube.
What is going on, guys? Bretto live back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Raw and SmackDown in a Week in Review style. We're going to start off with Monday Night Raw from Tennessee. Of course, the return of CM Punk was on this show. This was an absolute banger of a Monday Night Raw. Bretto Live, was part of this Monday Night Raw. I was featured when they were talking about the social media explosion that took place over all social media platforms, over 71 million views. It's probably even more now. I myself am a part of like almost 2 million views of that across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, which is absolutely outrageous because I was in the crowd for this moment, and when CM Punk came out, I just happened to be recording myself, and then I absolutely went berserk. You guys have probably seen the short. If you have not, go to my YouTube channel, but I was featured in that. I just had to get that out of the way right away. This is like the first Monday Night Raw where I was actually like part of the event. I was part of the event, not like shown in the crowd. I've been shown in the crowd before, but like I've never been like part of the show. It's freaking insane. Still flipping out about it, even though it was only for like 2 seconds, but it was so awesome. It was like the most awesome 2 seconds ever. Let's jump into this episode of Raw. About halfway through the video, we're jumping into SmackDown, so let's do it. We opened up the show with the Viper, the return of Randy Orton. Randy Orton comes out. He's walking down the ramp. He signs an action figure for a kid. I thought that was so cool. He signed a Top Picks Randy Orton Elite, and the kid, he didn't really seem too excited, but I would assume after he got out of his starstruck stage, he was very, very excited. Randy Orton signs an action figure, comes in the ring. He is just ecstatic to be back, talks about the W at War Games. He gets interrupted by Miss Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley comes out and starts bashing Randy Orton, talks about how the Judgment Day is still strong even after their loss at War Games. After Rhea Ripley's done talking, JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio attack Randy Orton from behind. It leads to Randy Orton beating up Dom, beating up JD, and hitting another RKO on JD McDonough. JD McDonough is so good when it comes to taking an RKO. He could literally make his body go so limp, especially when he fell off the cage at Survivor Series and here in this segment to open up Monday Night Raw. What a segment to open up the show, by the way. This was amazing. I loved seeing Orton in the ring with Rhea. The crowd was chanting RKO. They wanted to see Randy Orton RKO Rhea Ripley. RTruth Backstage is freaking comical. This dude is so freaking funny. He had an interaction backstage with Jelly Roll, that one country singer. I don't really listen to his music. I'm not fond of his music, but that's just my personal opinion. He had an interaction with him. He's like, "Where's the Jelly Roll? I'm trying to eat some Jelly Rolls." He thought Jelly Roll was like the food, but no, it's the person. So he was all confused there. And then he gets caught later in the show in the Judgment Day's locker room eating Jelly Rolls. I'm surprised they did not freaking triple team RTruth and beat the snot out of him and whack him with his Jelly Rolls. RTruth, I'm low-key glad RTruth is back. He is so funny, man. He actually made me crack up when he was in the Judgment Day's locker room. And he like made fun of them for losing at War Games, said how Randy was back. RTruth is literally a national treasure. I like RTruth a lot. It was a massive tag team turmoil match to determine who's going to be the number one contenders for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. We had the New Day, DIY, Sangha, and Veer, accompanied by Jinder Mahal, Otis, and Akira Tozawa. I feel like that should have been Chad Gable. You also had the Creed brothers in there. I freaking love the Creeds, dude. I was pulling for the Creeds. We started this match with Otis and Akira Tozawa versus Gargano and Ciampa. Gargano and Ciampa overcome Alpha Academy, and then after that, basically, the Creed brothers took care of business. The Creed brothers eliminated the New Day. The Creed brothers eliminated Veer and Sangha, which I was a little worried at points that they were going to come out and top. The Creed brothers were able to finish off the match by taking out Imperium, Giovanni Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser, who were also part of this match. Yes, I forgot to mention them. But dude, the Brutus Ball to Giovanni Vinci was literally so insane. He came down and literally landed on Gio's shoulder and arm. I was like, oh my god, check on Giovanni Vinci, man. Bro just took an insane bump. The Creed brothers are amazing, by the way. My god. At first, the crowd was really like like silent for the Creeds, and I was like, dude, do you guys watch week to week? These Creed brothers have been kicking butt. Like, give them a pop. And then finally, after they took out a couple teams, including the New Day, the crowd finally got on their feet for the Creeds, and I was like, freaking thank you, dude. They kick butt. Brutus and Julius Creed with Ivy Nile on ringside. Dude, they kicked so much butt. I'm so glad they were able to win this match, and I cannot wait to see them go up against the Judgment Day. They might come up short, obviously, but it's still going to be a kick butt match. They're definitely going to give the Judgment Day a run for their money. I'm excited for that match. The beef between Bronson Reed and Ivar is definitely not over after this match. Yes, this match was freaking epic. Two monsters mashing in the center of the ring. This match ended in a double countout. But I'm totally fine with it because that means we're getting another match. Bronson Reed hits a massive Death Valley driver to Ivar, literally landing Ivar on his neck and his head. I thought for sure Ivar broke his neck. I was like, nope. Ivar's not getting up. There's going to be a stretcher out here. They're going to cut the cameras. It's over. No way Ivar gets back up. Ivar gets up 10 seconds later. I'm like, what the frick? Double count out. They brawl to the outside. They're brawling in the crowd at this point. And then Ivar jumps off a freaking like 10-foot case on top of security men and Bronson Reed. These dudes literally hate the crap out of each other, and I cannot wait for another match. I was dying laughing, dude. I don't know why it was so funny, but I was watching this and just laughing as they were brawling. It was like insane. I literally thought Ivar died. Cody Rhodes came out talking about the War Games win and how he is ecstatic that Randy Orton is back and that they won at War Games. He also mentioned that he is the first man to declare himself for the Royal Rumble. And during this promo, I realized, oh my gosh, the next PLE, Premium Live Event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, is the Royal Rumble. That is insane. That's like 2 months away. Bro, they're going to do some solid build-up to this, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Give the Royal Rumble some kick butt build up. Give it time. I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. Like, they're going to give it so much time. They're going to make that show really, really special. I already know it. Shinsuke Nakamura made his presence felt by popping himself up on the Titantron and mentioning that the man he's been trying to target all these weeks is Cody Rhodes. And then he doesn't even hit Cody Rhodes. He comes up from behind after his segment on the Titantron and just sprays him with red mist. Pretty clever, right? I used the blood and guts head scan on the suited body. I know this is just going to end with a one-on-one match that Cody Rhodes wins, all right? Nobody thinks Shinsuke is going to beat Cody. That's why I'm not really all for this. But it ought to be a solid little storyline before Cody possibly wins the Royal Rumble again and fights Roman at Mania 40. We'll have to see. But as far as Shinsuke taking out Cody Rhodes, you guys know I'm not the biggest Shinsuke fan, so I wasn't really all for this, but it was a pretty cool sight seeing Cody with a blood crimson mask with the mist. Miz approached Gunther backstage, talking to Gunther and saying, I'm not done with you, Gunther. I know I can beat you for that Intercontinental Championship. Miz still has his sights set on the IC title, and Gunther said, get in line, Miz. There's other people I need to go through. You're not worthy of an Intercontinental Championship match. I need a better opponent. Dude, Miz is going to get another opportunity, and he could possibly win. I'd love to see Miz dethrone Gunther. I'm all for that, too. Zoe Stark, yes, I do realize that is Trish Stratus. That's the closest I have to Zoe Stark. She went up against Nia Jax. This match wasn't the best match, in my opinion. Nia Jax kind of squashed Zoe Stark, not making Zoe Stark look good at all, dude. Nia squashed her, bro. And coming off a loss against Rhea at Survivor Series, like, dude, Zoe Stark's going to be at the bottom of the line. Nia could possibly be Rhea's next opponent since she just beat the challenger of Rhea at Survivor Series. I don't know. This match wasn't my favorite. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven defended their women's tag team champions up against the number one contenders at the time, Tegan Nox and Natalya. This match was okay. It didn't really have my full attention. Towards the end, Piper Niven jumped off the apron, landing on Natalya and Tegan Nox, throwing Tegan Nox back in the ring, doing a little crossbody. 1, 2, 3. They retain the tag team championships, and Chelsea Green gets carried again. Dude, Piper Niven carries this team. Chelsea Green is so lucky to have Piper Niven, and she's so lucky that Piper Niven is on her good side. I feel like when they lose the titles, Piper Niven is so turning on Chelsea Green, and Chelsea Green is going to be done for. Seth Rollins needs his next opponent for the World Heavyweight Championship. He gets interrupted. Drew McIntyre feels like he should get that next opportunity at the World Championship, and Seth Rollins disagrees. Seth's like, I already talked to Adam Pearce. I got my opponent for next week. That being Jay Uso. Drew obviously is pissed at even the name Jey Uso being brought up, especially in a championship match. Drew hits Seth Rollins, starts turning heel again, and then here comes Jey Uso. Jey Uso runs down, fends off Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins. Did Drew turn fully heel yet? No! Because he talked to Sami Zayn backstage, and Sami Zayn brought him to his senses and mentioned how him and Drew aren't that different. They've had similar failures, and Drew starts turning face again. Bro needs to figure out if he's heel or if he's face. He set up a match between him and Sami next week, so I think we'll find out there. But dude, this is like the slowest heel turn ever for a WWE superstar. Like, bro, turn heel already. My God. Yeah, I know he attacked Seth, but then he came to his senses after the match with Sami. It's like, oh my gosh. But I'm super excited for Jey versus Seth for the world title. And then Randy Orton went one-on-one with Dominic Mysterio. Of course, after the promo that happened in the beginning of the show, Randy Orton basically just hits a massive RKO to beat Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Randy Orton's first singles win back in WWE, which is freaking amazing. It's just such a breath of fresh air seeing Randy Orton back on Monday Night Raw. Bro looks the best I've ever seen him. He is bald, so look freaking out. And he also made amends with Jey Uso backstage, which I thought was pretty freaking cool. In the main event, the main promo of the show, if you will, CM Punk is back on Monday Night Raw. My God, it's so weird saying that. Once again, they did that social media run back of all the influencers reacting to Punk's return. I was part of that, which I thought was so freaking dope. He's here for action. He's here for championships. He's here for money. And he is home. CM Punk is back. And he is here to stay, I feel like. He's not going to mess this up, in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. He's here to stay. He's here to win championships. I guarantee you he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. This is going to be like one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. Oh my God, I'm so freaking excited, dude. Punk. He's freaking back. It's so weird seeing his music hit and seeing him come out on Raw. It's just so weird. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy he's back. Cut an amazing promo. And, dude, I'm home. This was an absolutely action-packed episode on Monday Night Raw. I really freaking enjoyed it. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. It was just so action-packed when it came to wrestling, storytelling, people's returns, matches. Like, it was just a all-around amazing episode of Monday Night Raw. The big question this entire episode of SmackDown: who will sign Randy Orton? We found out in the end of the show. I will talk about it. Was it Nick Aldis from SmackDown? Adam Pearce from Monday Night Raw? We will get into that closer towards the end of this part of the video. Opening up the show, though, we open with Bianca Belair, a part of the winning group at War Games, of course, for the women's match. She gets interrupted by Damage Control. They come down. They look to do a little 4-on-1 beatdown, minus Dakota Kai. I swear, Dakota Kai never gets in on the action. She has to be injured, I swear, because she never gets in on the fight, I swear, unless she's just afraid. But Bianca, she starts fighting back, and then here comes Charlotte Flair to back her up, and then here comes Shotzi to back her up, and it evens up the odds a little bit. Then Bianca Belair challenges one of the members of Damage Control later in the night to have a one-on-one match, that being Kairi Sane, and that match happened a little bit later with some interesting controversy. I will talk about it. Not a bad way to open up the show. Bobby Lashley did have a one-on-one match with the Lonely Butch. Bobby Lashley had both members of the Street Profits on ringside, which was pretty fire. Is this group heel or no? Can somebody reaffirm that for me down in the comment section down below? I swear, this group 1 week is face, and then the next it's heel. They were chanting Bobby, Bobby. I was like, is this group heel? Like, they gotta make up their mind, for real. Anyways, Bobby fought Butch, and obviously Butch doesn't have Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland sort of abandoned him, and the commentator Michael Cole had mentioned how Sheamus had also abandoned Butch, so he's just going it alone. Butch said he's going to focus on himself, so he wanted this one-on-one match. He did come up a little bit short. Bobby Lashley did hit the spear on Butch to get the victory, and then after the match, Butch gets attacked backstage by Pretty Deadly, and they just kept repeating to him that he's alone. Dude, it's only a matter of time till Sheamus returns, and the Brawling Brutes are back on top, for real. Sheamus is going to straighten out that group, I guarantee it. As far as the match between Butch and Bobby Lashley, I pleasantly enjoyed that match, not gonna lie. Santos Escobar had a match with Joaquin Wilde of the LWO, and Joaquin Wilde is, dude, that dude is freaking talented, bro. This was a heck of a match. I really enjoyed it between Santos and Joaquin. Obviously, Santos is gonna pick up the victory, though. He beats Joaquin Wilde 1, 2, 3, and then, of course, Santos, he has to go in for a little more beatdown. He can't just take his victory because he's this new evil son of a bee heel. So here comes Dragon Dragon Lee, the opponent that Santos fought at War Games. Dragon Lee runs out, he evens up the odds, and then Santos tries to attack Dragon Lee again from behind, but it doesn't work out this time. Dragon Lee was able to fend off Santos Escobar and save Joaquin Wilde. I would assume officially adding him to a member of the LWO. I'm not 100% positive, but man, Santos is evil, bro. He is, dude. I like Santos as a heel, though. Our first appearance of the United States Champion since the Crown Jewel. It's about dang time Logan Paul's up to a freaking wrestling show. Logan Paul was here on SmackDown looking for his next challenger for the United States Championship. He set up a tag team tournament with 8 men, from a member from NXT, mostly members from SmackDown. He set it up with Nick Aldis to figure out his next challenger for the United States Championship. One of those members was Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens comes out, he interrupts Logan Paul. They start throwing jabs at each other, classic jabs. And then here comes Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, because yes, Kevin Owens did have a match scheduled with Grayson Waller. And basically it just ended with Kevin Owens punching Austin Theory in the face again. But man, if this doesn't make it obvious enough that we're going to be seeing Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship, I don't know what does. Dude, Kevin's winning that tournament. I guarantee it. If he doesn't, it's going to be Santos, but I really do think it's going to be Kevin. Anyways, Kevin Owens goes one-on-one with Grayson Waller, and Grayson Waller, he almost got the best of Kevin Owens here. Austin Theory got himself involved by slamming the hand of Kevin Owens on the steel stairs while the referee was not paying attention. Grayson Waller focused on the hand the entire match, but in the end, Kevin Owens was able to luckily roll up Grayson Waller, and he got the best of Grayson Waller 1, 2, 3. Even with outside interference from Theory and Logan Paul on commentary, Kevin Owens was still able to take this dub with a broken hand, most likely. I enjoyed this. I can't wait for Kevin versus Logan, hopefully for the United States Championship. I hope that match happens. Kevin needs to win that tournament. Bianca Belair had that match with Kairi Sane one-on-one. This match wasn't too bad. Bayley was told not to come out to ringside by Damage Control, but she did. Obviously, there are some cracks forming between Bayley and the rest of Damage Control. It's unspoken, but it is there. Bayley comes out, referee's not looking, she pulls the braid to Bianca, slams her down the apron, expects Kairi Sane to take advantage with an insane elbow. Bianca Belair, she stops her from hitting the insane elbow and hits the KOD 1, 2, 3. Bayley's definitely not going to be in good relation with the Damage Control after freaking this loss with Kairi Sane and Bianca. This is not going to work out too well for Bayley. It was our main promo of the show, if you will. It was Randy Orton coming out deciding whether he wanted to sign with Raw or SmackDown. Nick Aldis or Adam Pearce. As you can see, I do have Pat McAfee and Paul Ellering back there, but they sort of resemble both GMs, so I just threw him back there. Randy Orton looks like he's about to decide, and then he gets interrupted by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman comes out, says you don't want to side with SmackDown because these are the guys that took you out. And here comes Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. They start doing a 2-on-1 beatdown on Randy Orton. I'm like, oh, Randy doesn't need any help. Nobody's going to come and help him. But they started getting the best of him, so here came L.A. Knight. Yeah. L.A. Knight runs down, fends off Solo Sikoa as Randy Orton takes care of business in the ring with Jimmy Uso, and it only makes sense. L.A. Knight, he has beef with the Bloodline. He said he's not done with the Bloodline. They screwed him over at the Crown Jewel. It only makes sense why he would help out Randy Orton here. Randy Orton hits an RKO on Jimmy Uso, and then he decides to sign with SmackDown. Randy Orton is on SmackDown. He will be on SmackDown for the remainder of, I would assume, the going into next year, obviously. He wants Roman Reigns. He wants the Bloodline. Nick Aldis said, I can give you the guys that took you out. Freaking Adam Pearce, he had a good one, too. He's like, I'll give you either Jay or Seth, whoever wins in the World Heavyweight Championship. But Randy Orton wants revenge. He's a snake. He wants to take out Roman. He wants to take out the Bloodline, and that's his ultimate goal. And here he is on SmackDown. This was such an awesome freaking little story for this show, and I loved it, bro. For real. Randy Orton, so cool to see him back, even again. Editing the video now, and I just realized I forgot to talk about how Randy Orton hit an RKO on the SmackDown GM Nick Aldis. Freaking caught me insanely off guard. The man that just signed him to a multi-year deal on SmackDown, he RKOs him. Never trust a snake. But yes, guys, that was SmackDown in a WWE action figure setup style. I really enjoyed this episode of SmackDown as well. I enjoyed Raw and SmackDown this week, bro. Great wrestling this week. They even announced that CM Punk is going to be on SmackDown next week. Maybe he'll decide whether he wants to sign with SmackDown or Raw. He'll be a Raw guy. I'm almost positive. But yes, this was an awesome episode of SmackDown. I do give this show a 4 out of 5. I pleasantly enjoyed this show. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was really solid. You guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. I don't know if I'm being nice, but I thought this was really freaking good. Once again, let me know your thoughts, and I really enjoyed this episode of the Week in Review. Bretto Live is out.
It just consumes you until you